Good morning, gang. Happy Monday morning. Uh, Me, like many of you, probably got up this morning and saw the news and a whole bunch of stuff that was completely expected. Philadelphia's on fire. I guess they lost the Super Bowl, but not that it would matter in Philadelphia anyway. If they would have lost, they burned down the city. If they would have won, they burned down the city because, hey, it's Philadelphia. Go figure. But, yeah. You almost think that they'd be out there burning down the city because the price of a cheesesteak went up. That would be maybe more understandable, but hey, who knows? Needless to say, no, I did not watch the Super Bowl. Don't care. Okay, used to love football. Just sorry, Colin Kaepernick ruined it. I guess Rihanna was a complete embarrassment, but that shouldn't come as any surprise. I mean, hell, you can take the girl out of the ghetto, you just can't take the ghetto out of the girl. So, apparently it was a very disgusting display, I guess, from what I saw this morning. Didn't see the display, just saw the comments. I wouldn't even bother watching something like that. But my cheesesteak comment, I want to touch on that real quick here. We've talked, many places have talked about food prices. It sure seems like, guess what? Conspiracy theory 9,842,671 is coming true. Because what we all of a sudden have now are the food companies admitting that we have a problem, okay? Kantar, which is a research company, okay, research firm, data firm, whatever you want to call them, put out a study over the weekend on what food companies are saying about food prices. Okay, I'll give you a couple one. Nestle, their CEO Mark Schneider, said last week that the company is going to have to raise their prices of their food products this year to offset higher production costs that they've yet to pass on to consumers. Guess what? It's more money for your chocolate bars and milk and everything like that you get from Nestle. Okay. Unilever, you guys know this one. They make everything from food to soap to God knows what. Quote, the last time we heard from Unilever, it was made clear that they prefer to sell fewer products at higher prices to keep prices below peers and gain market share. Okay. So they're telling you flat out that there's going to be less selection on the shelves and you're going to pay more for what they, out of the grace of God, decide to give you. Okay. Walmart. There you go. Walmart warned that packaged goods suppliers are still pointing us toward more inflation next year, meaning 2024, on top of, get this, the mid-double digits this year. Mid-double digits would be 50, okay? That would be the middle of double digits. We all know what real food inflation is, not the numbers that are put out. I mean, according to the governments for 2022, the U.S. saw 10.4% food inflation. Right. Okay, we'll prove that one wrong. Even the UK said they saw 16.7% food inflation. Now, what's causing this? This is the interest rate. I don't want to hear any more of this supply chain crap. COVID's been over for a couple of years now. They've had plenty of time to get that straightened out. Okay. You can talk about labor. Gee, I'm sorry. You're importing all these illegals left and right because, hey, they can go fill the labor jobs, right? Let's start pulling them out of the Manhattan penthouse hotels that they want to stay in. If they want to be here, get your ass out to picking strawberries or whatever the hell it is. That's what you said you wanted. You were coming here for a job, right? And all those skills that you have, Put you to work. Oh, we don't want to work. We just want to sit here, do drugs, get drunk, have sex in the stairwells, and, live off the U.S. taxpayer. No. Okay. I'll give you this. Meat, dairy, and vegetable oil prices, are at the highest level they have been, according to the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization, since they started keeping records in 1990. Okay, the previous record was hit in 2011. So that's Joe's economy for you. Now I'll give you this in regards to some of our food prices and all these crazy hikes. Let's start with eggs. And what do we keep hearing about eggs? Oh, there's the bird flu, and we've got to cull the herd, or the flocks and everything, right? That's what we hear. Fact. They hate when I do this. 6% of egg-laying chicken flocks in the United States have been affected by bird flu. It's 94% haven't. Please explain to me why the price of eggs has gone up sixfold because we have 6% of the flock having bird flu and having to be culled. Okay? There's no way this explains the shortages and the price increases that we're seeing at the stores. Something's up. Okay? Some of you guys may have noticed this one last week. U.S. cattle herd population is at the lowest level it's been since 1962. Of course, why was that? Because cattle feed got so ridiculously expensive and the drought and everything that farmers were culling the herd because they couldn't afford to feed them, so they sold them while they could get anything, right? So we have the least amount of cattle for beef in the United States in 60 years. Now I want to give you this as reference. In 1962, the population of the United States was 186.5 million people. Okay? That means the population of the United States is now nearly 80% higher than it was in 1962. Yet we have the same amount of cattle as a source for beef as we did then. Apparently, it's not what's for dinner anymore. Okay. You look over at Italy. This was a solution from Berlusconi, the former prime minister. He wants to solve the problem in Ukraine. How does he want to end the war in Ukraine? He thinks we should set up a new Marshall Plan for Ukraine, that the United States could help Ukraine completely rebuild, provided that Ukraine and Russia stop fighting. I love how a former prime minister of another country goes, gee, you know what? I can go spend some US dollars too. Isn't it funny how all this eventually comes back to you and me, okay? We're the one that's supposed to pay to rebuild Ukraine. We got nothing to do with it, okay? We're the one that's supposed to pay $6 for a dozen eggs, even though 6% of the egg-laying hens are sick. The other 94% are fine. But we're supposed to eat that cost. We're not supposed to be able to buy beef because, hey, we've culled all the animals. Okay? We're supposed to pay the highest prices in history for meat, vegetable oil, dairy products, whatever. You notice how it all comes down to you and me? Okay? I love every time they come up and say, well, the U.S. government's going to help. No, the U.S. government does not earn a penny. The only money the U.S. government has is what they take from you and me. We earn it. They take it. Okay? They're not solving any problems. They're just creating more. You keep hearing, oh, the dollar is going to be worthless. The dollar is going to be worthless. Yeah, it is. Why? Because we keep just pissing it away and giving it to anybody who, I want to be a billionaire. Let me go buy another mansion in Miami. Let my wife go shopping and spend $40,000 in an hour. Oh, Zelensky, you want some more money? Sure, here, let me write you a check. Gee, Joe, that's not your checkbook. That's the U.S. government's checkbook. I know, but I have control over it. I can spend any of this I want. And if we don't have enough, I can borrow it. They'll pay for it. This is what's going on, guys. If you don't see that this is all part of the bigger plan to bankrupt all of us and to get us to the point where you're going to be happy to eat bugs. You'll own nothing and be happy, remember? You'll own no food and be happy. And they will give you the bugs, okay? I'll give you this. There's a story out this morning about a lady who was a defector from North Korea, okay? She's in the United States. She's written a book. I didn't realize this. There are only about 200 people from North Korea that live in the United States. That's it. Talk about trying to get out of a country. 200 have made it to the United States. That's it. Okay. That's what? A nanosecond coming across the southern border? Okay. She was telling her story in this book. I was reading part of it about her father who was arrested, not for any crimes, but for collecting bugs for his children to eat, cockroaches, so his kids had some food. This is where we're going. This is the path we are on. Go start reading stuff about what you can find about how the people live in North Korea, how the people live in China. Not the media, not the way they, oh, look at Beijing, it's a modern city, and don't look at Kim Jong-un and how he's, look at me, I've got my suit and my lobster and my, Crevassier or whatever the hell he's drinking. None of that, okay? Find the stories about the people and what they go through. That's what we're headed for, guys. That's what these criminals in Washington and all the criminals who are the liberal elites, the John Kerrys, the Al Gores, the Bill Gates, yada. That's what they want. They want to be the Kim Jong-uns eating the lobster and caviar. And they want to be able to execute you for collecting bugs to feed your family. And the proof is in the facts. Pinball out.